Now let's talk about China. It has announced its defense budget for the year, a staggering $245 billion, $245 billion, an increase of around 7% from last year. This cements China's position in the global pecking order. It remains the world's second largest military spender after the United States. It's right behind the US, in fact. But the real story here goes beyond the numbers. The $245 billion budget is a reflection of China's ambitions, and India should be paying attention to this. Look at how things stand at the moment. China remains gripped by an economic crisis. Growth has plummeted. New challenges are on the horizon. US President Donald Trump is punishing Chinese products. He has launched a trade war against Beijing, but instead of dealing with these economic challenges, China is ramping up its defense spending. It already has the world's biggest navy, and now China is steadily building up its weapons arsenal. It is acquiring advanced missile systems, fighter jets, and maritime vessels. China doesn't want to slow down progress on these fronts. It is prioritizing military upgrades over economic recovery. Consider this. China's growth target remains unchanged. It is aiming for 5% growth in 2025. That's the same as last year. But the defense spending gets a 7% increase. That extra money could have been used to ease the property crisis or to improve the domestic demand or create more jobs or maybe even pay off some of China's debt. But despite the obvious economic problems, they've not only not slashed the military budget, they have in fact increased it. And look at the timing. In recent months, Chinese troops have been busy. They have ramped up operations at various flashpoints. The PLA is building pressure on Taiwan with military drills and repeated incursions. In the South China Sea, Beijing is asserting its dominance. Clashes with troops from the Philippines have escalated. Their coast guards have even come to blows. Taipei has sounded an alarm. It believes the threat from China is growing. So this bigger military budget only means new security risks. In response, Taiwan is increasing its own defense spending. It wants to build stronger deterrence against China.
In the face of the rapidly changing international situation and the escalating threats from adversaries, we cannot rely on the goodwill of others for peace. Peace through strength is the only way to achieve true peace.
Taiwan's military budget is around $17 billion for this year. It's a fraction of what China spends. Taipei will never be able to match that. Today, Taiwan spends around 2% of its GDP on defense. The plan is to increase it to 3%, perhaps even more. India faces a similar challenge. What is India's defense budget? $79 billion for this year. $79 billion, which is about 2.3% of India's GDP. China's defense budget is 3 times bigger. And with the PLA's ballooning budget, this gap could widen in the coming years. So India needs strong deterrence against China. It must keep pace with China's military modernization and its new capabilities. Defense, in fact, gets the highest allocation in India's budget. But funding for new acquisitions often falls short. This year, too, it saw a meager hike, around 4%. The procurement budget stood at 1.8 trillion rupees. In contrast, the Defense Ministry spends 4.7 trillion rupees on just manpower, on salaries and pensions, etc. So bigger procurement is the need of the hour. As China doubles down on military spending, India will have to prepare for the growing risk. Frankly, there is no other option.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically, in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs. And that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.